Hey everyone, today we're talking about a frog's whimsical dream to perform with a human band. However, it's worth mentioning that her previous concert plans were an outright total disaster. Learning they were turned into frogs by a spell, Louie promptly directed them to a super witchy old lady. Of course, Louie wasn't too keen on joining such a dangerous adventure and decided to sit this one out. The prince started sweet-talking her, saying if they found the witch, she might also turn human and perform on stage. Hearing this, Louie, dreaming it might come true, agreed instantly, though the frog prince's flirtatious nature remained. Meanwhile, Lawrence was trying to win Charlotte's heart, and her ears mysteriously transformed back as they chatted. She realized her necklace's blood was low and hastily proposed to Charlotte. Though surprised, Charlotte agreed instantly at the prospect of becoming a princess. She decided to marry the prince tonight. Seeing the dried-up necklace, the sorcerer was furious and urgent to retrieve the prince. The prince was still trying to make a move on a mosquito, while Diana, fighting her instincts, couldn't hold back either, and they both lunged for the same. Unfortunately, they missed the catch, and their tongues got tangled. Louie thought, well, this is a sticky situation. Louie wanted to help untangle them, but only made things worse, so she had to seek help elsewhere. Just as she left, a firefly zoomed in. This firefly, named Raymond, quickly lit up and was ready to lend a hand. With Raymond's help, Diana and the prince finally got entangled. Raymond was a local, and they were gearing up to find that old but Raymond took a look and said to himself, "You guys are totally going the wrong way." "Which big melon guided you this way?" "I just found the mosquito." Good-hearted Raymond called in his bunch of friends to guide them through the dark. Meanwhile, the sorcerer made a big deal to catch the prince. Once he dealt with Charlotte's father, he would rule the town. Countless souls would serve him, so the underworld sent spirits to track the prince. Raymond was deeply in love with Evangeline, a firefly chatting with her nightly, despite no replies. Yet he believed they'd unite someday. The prince saw many pretty blooms and wondered why one bug. In the woods, 3 hunters lay in wait, completely oblivious to the danger creeping up. While the two kept quarreling over their differing views. The prince mocked Diana for only knowing how to work and not enjoying life, but before he finished, a hunter grabbed him, and his brothers went right for Diana. At the sight of the hunters actually carrying guns, Louie was filled with terror and leaped straight into a prickly bush, transitioning from being lively and frolicking to merely a tiny, concealed dot in the grass in an instant. When Raymond saw the prince got caught, without a second thought, he zoomed in to save him. 2 silly brothers grabbed clubs and started swinging wildly. The prince dodged gracefully, while their dad took a pounding. After all the commotion, the already dull heads felt like they were hit harder. The hunters fled in terror, like seeing a ghost, while fainted Raymond beside Louie regained consciousness. Going through tough times made their friendship stronger. Diana decided to cook a thick soup and asked the prince to chop some veggies, but the prince wasn't a pro at this. After dicing one tiny piece, Diana had to step in, since he never literally had to lift a finger to brush his teeth before. It was only now, after being booted from the castle by his parents, that he realized he knew absolutely nothing. They were sipping soup and joking away, completely unaware the spirits had already traced their whereabouts. At that moment, Raymond said his beloved Evangeline was nearby, but everyone else saw nothing. Then they realized that the firefly Raymond meant was actually a star. Louie wanted to tell the truth, but the prince quickly stopped her. They couldn't bear to burst Raymond's beautiful bubble, so in the glow of the moonlight and music, Diana accepted the prince's invitation. Just as they were about to lose themselves in a kiss, filled with uncontrollable emotion, suddenly Diana jolted awake, abruptly remembering that the prince still had affections for Charlotte. She knew deep down that she couldn't betray her closest friend. At that very moment, eerie spirits from the underworld materialized abruptly and swiftly snatched the prince away. They reluctantly followed when suddenly beams of light flashed, vanquishing the spirits and rescuing the prince. Wow, this 197-year-old lady still has it. The old lady took them home to cook soup. Diana offered tips to enhance its flavor, and in return, she asked for their wishes. Diana didn't hesitate and said she wanted to turn human. However, the old lady wasn't satisfied and told them to think hard to find out what they truly wanted. She bluntly told the prince that what he really needed was money, and under her guidance, the prince soon figured out what was in his heart. Diana was still confused, only thinking about turning back and opening a restaurant, so the old lady said no more. Charlotte's dad would play the queen at tonight's carnival. A kiss from the prince before midnight would lift their spells. When Louis asked if she could also turn human, the old lady told her she just had to work for it. In order to make it back by midnight, Louis led them onto a yacht, but just then, a few humans came cruising by. They frantically sought cover, but Louis, being huge, had nowhere. Fortunately, a mask worried was on, and she was mistaken for a performer, invited to play. Louis' dream came true. Prince and Diana grew closer. She invited him to Louis' performance. But the prince declined, picking up some scattered pearls to form a makeshift ring for Diana. Just then, Raymond happened to see him. Raymond thought the prince was disrespecting his goddess and immediately went to punch him. The prince hurriedly explained he simply liked her. Diana, realizing the misunderstanding, told Raymond the prince wouldn't be with Charlotte and would help her open a restaurant. So late at night, the prince invited Diana to the boat's top for a candlelit dinner he prepared. "No one has ever done this for me before. It's just so amazing," she said, touched. "Did you do the cutting?" "Absolutely. Thanks to your influence, it's quite amazing since I've dated, like, a few. Wait, no, maybe just 2 or 3, or maybe just 1 or 2. Please don't mind it, okay? You're truly something special, you know? If you like me, don't forget to like and subscribe."